What if the junk piling up in your shed could be the most beautiful thing in your garden? This is Mind Over Decoration, where small spaces, old scraps, and big ideas meet. Today, we're diving into real trash and turning it into real design. These are DIY trash garden ideas that work. They're simple, surprising, and you might already have everything you need. This video includes timestamps. Feel free to skip, pause, or replay. Have a question? Leave a comment. And if something sparks your creativity, don't wait. Make it your own. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. You're not just supporting a creator. You're keeping a small dream alive. There's something quietly magical about giving color back to what the world has thrown away. In a modest backyard stitched with the rhythm of daily life, rows of old plastic bottles, once forgotten and dull, are now reborn as playful borders, bright as spring itself. The fence behind them, aged and simple, becomes a gallery wall where every reused bottle carries its own tiny story. Some are painted in sunshine yellow, some in sky blue, others in gentle pastels. A few wear polka dots like party dresses, while others bloom with hand-drawn flowers or tiny bees caught mid-flight. One section curves tightly around a raised bed filled with cosmos and snapdragons that sway like dancers after rain. The bottles here tilt at gentle angles, forming a zigzag rhythm that feels almost musical, as if the garden were humming to itself. Each crown-cut edge catches light in a different way, soft in the morning, golden in the evening. Elsewhere along the fence, the bottles hold still in a quiet parade, mint, sage, coral, tones that whisper rather than shout. Behind them grow tidy rows of lettuce, thyme, and parsley, their greens deep and abundant. Above, terracotta pots dangle like punctuation marks, completing the sentence of this small, thoughtful space. There is no perfection here, just the kind of beauty that lives in effort and care. In brushes dipped in leftover paint. In the decision to see something more in what others might throw away. In the joy of bending down, planting a flower, and watching it bloom beside a border you built with your own hands. If you have plastic bottles, if you have paint, if you have soil and something to love, then you have everything you need to make this real. Let your garden tell its story, bottle by bottle, color by color. In gardens where laughter still lingers in the air, sometimes the edges don't just hold soil, they tell stories. Along the soft curves of this playful yard, a frog grins from its bright green tire perch. Beside it, a ladybug perches proudly in bold red and black, while a zebra-striped cat watches curiously over a patch of daisies. They're not statues. They're not store-bought. They are trash, once rubber and waste, reborn into something joyful. Between them, blooms sway like shy children at recess, scattered wildflowers painting the garden in bursts of white and pink. And then, deeper into the yard, come more companions. Penguins with wide eyes line the fence like little guards, their bellies white and round, their eyes made from old bottle caps. Some carry tiny wooden signs with kind reminders, "Welcome, be friendly." Behind them, tomato plants lean tall, as if grateful for the protection. At a gentle bend, the scene shifts again. A sleepy bear peeks out from within teal-painted tire rings. A parrot lifts its wings, made from repurposed bottles that glint in the sun. A giraffe stands nearby, eyes wide with wonder, its head stretched above lavender sprigs. The paint on their bodies is chipped in places, and that only adds to their charm, proof that they were made, not bought. Not far from a patio, an elephant lifts its trunk beside a lion with a mane of red petals and a dinosaur whose back grows real, living succulents. Chickens peck around them, unbothered, as though they, too, recognize the creatures as part of the garden's rhythm. This isn't about art that sits on shelves. It's about characters that live beside lettuces and lavender, turning forgotten tires into childhood memories waiting to be made. These sculptures aren't just decor, they're invitations to play, reminders that creativity needs no budget, and proof that even the most worn-out material can still make someone smile. All you need is a tire, some paint, and a bit of imagination that refuses to grow old. Sometimes the simplest materials tell the richest stories, especially when they're given a second chance to bloom. Along the curved edge of a peaceful garden, old tin cans have found new purpose. Once shelves for soup and beans, they now line the soil like silver pickets, each carrying a memory in the soft dents and faded paint of their bodies. No two are the same. Some are polished bright, others whisper with rust. A few still bear the ghosts of vintage labels, barely clinging to their sides like the past refusing to be forgotten. Each can is filled with life, black-eyed Susans stretch wide under the sun, bachelor's buttons flutter in a breeze that smells of cut grass, while calendulas burn golden in the last light of day. The border is not just decorative, it's alive, changing each week with the rhythm of wildflowers and weather. At one corner of a patio, the cans are painted in brushy pastels, their bodies wrapped in floral patterns like worn summer dresses. From them grow tiny forests of bee balm and alyssum, spilling generously over the rims as butterflies float gently above. A trowel lies abandoned nearby, a garden hose curled like a sleeping cat on warm stone. The setting feels lived in, honest, still growing. From a shaded seat inside a wooden gazebo, the view outward reveals the full arc of the tin can border, rising and falling in height like a gentle melody. Some cans are tall and upright, others short and sunken. Between them, wildflowers sway in rhythm with the ornamental grasses just beyond. Overhead, a jasmine vine creeps across the fence, its tiny white blooms fragrant in the sun. This is not store-bought beauty. It's patchwork. Personal. Built by hands that don't mind getting dirty. Made from what most people throw away, this edging proves that creativity often starts not with what you have, but with what you're willing to see differently. So next time you toss a tin can, ask yourself, could this be the start of something wild? In a narrow backyard where space is sacred and every inch matters, the fence becomes more than just a divider, it becomes a canvas. Here, repurposed tin cans dangle like blooms suspended midair. Each one is lovingly painted, some in soft yellows and greens, others in faded white or delicate blue. No two cans are the same, yet they speak the same quiet language of reinvention. Some have stripes, others wear simple dots. A few are wrapped with lace, burlap, or twine, their textures echoing the rustic tones of a farmhouse retreat. Inside each can, herbs and flowers rise proudly. From the top row, lavender spills over like a purple waterfall. Below it, fresh mint and trailing oregano catch the light, their leaves glistening with the morning's mist. The colors are soft yet full, vibrant not in polish, but in presence. They glow with life. The wall, once blank and tired, is now alive with movement. Bees hover gently. A butterfly lands briefly on a marigold. Wind passes through the layers like music, rustling leaves and making the hanging cans clink in soft rhythm. Below, the stone patio is warmed by sunlight, and a child's watering can lies tipped, half full, as if interrupted mid-play. To the left, the wall wraps around the corner of the garden, turning an ordinary space into something tender. Behind the last row of planters, a wooden pergola offers shade. Hanging vines dangle overhead, framing the vertical garden like the opening page of a storybook. This is gardening when time is short, space is limited, and imagination is everything. It's not about having more. It's about doing more with what you already have, turning tin into treasure, and trash into timeless beauty. Let your wall bloom. It's waiting. In the hush of early evening, where the garden meets the fence and shadows stretch long across the grass, there lies a humble patch of green embraced by glass. Bottles once emptied and forgotten now stand in perfect alignment, shoulder to shoulder, their olive hues darkened by years and softened by soil. Each one planted neck down into the earth, as if bowing toward the roots they now guard. Between their glassy forms, soft pouches made of canvas or burlap cradle bundles of rosemary, dill, or thyme, stitched with care and tied with jute, as if the garden had dressed for a quiet, rustic celebration. What was once considered trash, glass too common, gloves too worn, scraps of bark too brittle, becomes poetry in texture and intent. In one corner, the gardener has slipped gloves over bark planters, fingers open like they're reaching into the sun. Basil bursts forth from their palms, cradled in what was once protection, now transformation. And just beyond, a gentle wooden sign rises from the earth, whispering the words, "Grow where you are planted." No louder than the wind, but impossible to ignore. Elsewhere, a mosaic of old wine bottles, beer labels still flaking from their sides, forms a charming herb wall. Tin cans wrapped in burlap hold mint and parsley, their roots finding refuge in what once held soup or tomatoes. Chickens peck idly nearby, unaware they're sharing space with a living sculpture. Overhead, a lantern sways from a wire, catching the soft light of day's end. A narrow path winds between lines of flipped bottles, capped with painted signs like thyme and basil. The names feel personal, as if the plants are not just ingredients but dear friends, each with their own plot and personality. This isn't a garden that follows blueprints. It grows in the cracks between convention and creativity, a space where repurposing is not just practical, but poetic. Anyone can do this. All it takes is attention, a bit of twine, and a willingness to see not what a bottle was, but what it could become. Let your hands get dirty. Let your mind imagine. Let your garden tell a story, one bottle at a time. gentle hush of morning, when the light falls softly across gravel paths and garden beds still heavy with dew, something unexpected rises from the earth. Not stone, not brick, but blackened rings of old rubber, reborn with purpose. Tires once forgotten, stacked 3 high in a quiet backyard corner, now serve as miniature vegetable walls, holding soil, life, and color. From a distance, they resemble sculpture, painted in mossy greens, clay reds, and the pale cream of farmhouse linens. But up close, they are alive. Spring onions stretch skyward, radishes peek from dark loam, and lettuces burst with every shade of chartreuse and wine. This is not just a vegetable patch, it is a design of intention, where every curve, every sprout, tells a story of what can grow when nothing is wasted. Elsewhere in the garden, stacks of unpainted tires form an elegant arc around a mulched bed. Trellises lean inside the black rubber rings like sail masts, supporting sugar snap peas and vines of bright green bell peppers. Marjoram tumbles from the edge, scenting the air with quiet fragrance. A stone path meanders through, welcoming footsteps and fallen leaves alike. By the shed, a tidy collection of tire towers supports tomatoes heavy with fruit. Their bamboo stakes sway gently in the breeze. Chickens mill about near a hand-painted sign that reads, "Fresh from the yard," as if to confirm this garden is more than decor, it's a way of living. And in one particularly charming corner, pastel blues and soft white tires are stacked with care, their sides adorned with playful icons of beets and carrots. Inside, kale and baby spinach grow lush and determined. A rusted shovel rests against the garden wall like punctuation, reminding us of the labor and joy beneath every leaf. To create something so nourishing from something so discarded is a quiet act of hope. It says, you don't need perfect materials to grow a beautiful life. Just vision. Just hands willing to dig. Just a belief that transformation starts with trying. Let the tires stack. Let the soil warm. Let your garden bloom from yesterday's road. As twilight leans gently over the garden, there's a soft hum in the air, the kind that only comes when day and night exchange secrets. And here, tucked between hedges and herbs, a pathway glows not from modern fixtures, but from bottles once tossed aside, now reborn as lanterns of quiet beauty. They hang from wooden and bamboo pergolas like suspended fireflies, green, amber, clear, and cobalt, each bottle threaded with soft fairy lights or solar bulbs. Some still carry the delicate fingerprints of dew. Others are etched with pressed petals or wrapped in copper wire, as if dressed up for a summer evening stroll. Their light spills downward, dappling gravel paths, catching on rosemary sprigs and thyme leaves that line the walkway like a border of scent. One corner of this garden is graced by bottles painted in matte silver and bronze, swaying gently from natural jute twine. Beneath them, baby's breath blooms in soft white bursts while a weathered watering can rests as if paused mid-chore. There's no rush here, only stillness wrapped in glow. Farther down the path, where the bottles grow bolder in color, deep blue, glowing orange, emerald green, they cast shadows that dance like stained glass upon the stones below. At the end, a wooden bench waits quietly in the half-light, offering not just rest but reflection. Even in the fading hush of the day, the garden feels alive, not with noise but with warmth. This DIY idea, so simple, so human, isn't just about lighting. It's about memory. About taking what's broken or used and giving it a second life under the stars. You don't need wiring or perfection. Just bottles, a touch of light, and a belief that beauty blooms in unexpected places. So if you have a quiet path, a pergola, or even just a few vines climbing toward the sky, let the bottles speak. Let them light the way. In a garden where silence speaks louder than words, and even the wind feels measured, elegance unfolds through humble elements: bamboo, bottle glass, moss, and stone. Here, beauty is not declared, it is suggested. And the line between waste and wonder becomes paper-thin. The border meanders softly beneath a tea hut, its shape traced not by expensive stone but by what others might have discarded. Bottles, in shades of deep green and translucent gray, are half buried upside down, their curved forms catching light like water droplets suspended in time. Between them, moss creeps and cushions the edges, stitching bottle to soil in perfect harmony. Just beyond, a single white camellia blossoms, pure and deliberate, facing the glass like a whisper to the earth. Beside this living sculpture, sections of aged bamboo are cut and placed with care, sometimes vertical, sometimes halved and hollow, each piece wrapped gently in natural jute. The arrangement feels almost accidental in its perfection, as if it had always existed beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed. A small ceramic frog watches from behind a stepping stone, its expression unreadable but its presence grounding. In another part of the path, bottles have been transformed into delicate lanterns. Their soft glow pulses against dark gravel and fine sand, casting gentle shadows on dwarf pine and iris leaves. No wires, no tech, just the warmth of low light in reused glass, held upright with hand-tied bamboo latticework. As the day fades, this garden doesn't grow darker, it glows deeper. One corner reveals clear plastic bottles filled with polished pebbles and tiny ferns, shaped to mimic the elegance of shirshorodoshi. Each one stands like a tiny shrine between clusters of ornamental grass and vertical bamboo posts. The floor below is lined with black river stones, cool underfoot and always damp from the morning mist. A wind chime stirs once, gently, and then the hush returns. There is no excess here, only intention. No grandeur, only grace. This is the art of reusing not for novelty, but for balance. So if you have a bottle, a length of bamboo, or just a quiet afternoon, you too can begin. The rest is simply listening. There's a garden where joy doesn't whisper, it sings. Not through rare plants or expensive decor, but through playful color and repurposed charm. Where old tires become sunshine, and plastic bottles bloom with personality. This is not a quiet garden, it's one that celebrates, loudly and proudly, the beauty of transformation. Look closely and you'll see it. The curving edge of a vegetable patch lined with half tires, their surfaces hand-carved into swirling waves, sun motifs, and cheerful florals. They've been painted like folk murals, in mustard yellows, burnt oranges, sea greens, and bright blues, a palette lifted straight from childhood daydreams. Some form tiny arches in the grass, others stand upright, like scalloped bricks grounding the whole garden in whimsical rhythm. And then, the flowers, oh, the flowers. Not grown from seed, but sculpted from the bases of soda bottles and water jugs. Their petals, melted, bent, and reshaped, are layered like stained glass, cobalt, magenta, lemon, violet. From a distance, they might be mistaken for giant daisies, until the sun catches one just right and reveals the recycled texture beneath. Each one is different. Each one is a work of hope. In the soft soil behind, calendula and coneflowers push up their real petals. Lavender hums with bees. Purple basil leans into the light. And nestled between it all, a green watering can rests beside a swinging wooden gate, as if someone has just stepped away mid-morning, not to finish, but to admire. This garden is proof that beauty isn't about perfection or symmetry. It's about soul. It's about letting your imagination color outside the lines, and using what you already have. So if there's a worn tire in your garage, or bottles waiting in the bin, maybe they're not trash at all. Maybe they're just waiting to bloom. In a quiet corner of a modest backyard, something magical rises from forgotten materials, a tiny shoreline born not from the sea, but from human hands and imagination. Discarded tin cans have been lovingly transformed into cheerful little wavelets. Brushed in layers of turquoise, ocean blue, and sandy white, each one mimics the rhythm of a playful tide, their curved painted crests frozen mid-surge. Between them, cobalt bottles stand tall like watchful sentinels, catching the light as sea glass would, their surfaces reflecting nearby blossoms and sky. They are not just decoration, they are punctuation. Vertical notes in a horizontal symphony of curves and curls. And it's not just about beauty. Inside this blue embrace, an herb garden flourishes, with thyme spilling over like foam, rosemary standing tall like beach grass, and sage thick with scent and memory. Even a ceramic fish peeks from beneath the foliage, as if it too feels at home among this blend of fantasy and function. Elsewhere, we glimpse a smaller circle, a delicate bed surrounded by sand-filled cans painted with clouds and candy-colored lighthouses. Tiny ceramic towers emerge from each one, standing guard like maritime protectors. The inner ring holds forget-me-nots and succulents, quietly thriving among bottle silhouettes and handmade fish pebbles. It feels like a place where a child's dream and a gardener's joy meet, creating a moment of soft wonder. On the patio, another bed curves along the path. A sign that reads "Little Shore" leans gently against a bottle, inviting passers-by to pause. Not to stare, but to smile. Because this isn't just garden decor. It's proof that with a bit of paint, a few bottles, and a kind hand, even trash can tell a story. So if you have old cans and glass saved for no reason at all, perhaps now they're waiting. Waiting to become a sea. A memory. A border between your plants and the world, drawn not with fences, but with joy. In the quiet hours of the afternoon, a humble garden gazebo becomes more than shade. It becomes a stage where imagination blooms in every corner. From the edge of the path, your eyes are greeted not just by the white wooden frame and its inviting bench, but by the cheerful company of creatures sculpted from discarded tires, now joyfully transformed. At one corner, a bright yellow duck beams under a crown of orange marigolds, its cheerful bill lifted to the sky. It's more than a planter. It's a memory of laughter, of small hands dipping brushes in yellow paint, of repurposing the forgotten into something that makes children smile. On the opposite side, a cobalt blue elephant stands proudly, leafy greens bursting from its back like a jungle in miniature. The garden bed beneath stays tidy, but nothing about this setting is dull, it hums with delight. Elsewhere, a ladybug made from stacked tires rests at the entrance to another gazebo, her red-painted shell dotted in black. From her center, bold begonias reach out to greet the sun. Just beside her, a panda planter lounges on soft mulch, cuddling a pot of low-growing herbs. The sound of wind chimes sways above, blending with the scent of lavender wrapped gently around wooden posts. Beyond that, a trail of playful critters, frog, bear, turtle, forms a semicircle at the base of the gazebo. Each planter has its own personality, painted with wide eyes and smiling faces, their backs filled with mint, pansies, and succulents. Together they turn an ordinary lawn into a living storybook. There's no cinematic pretense here, just real joy, real hands, and a gentle kind of DIY magic anyone can try. And that's the beauty of it. These aren't just garden decorations. They are symbols of care, of imagination stretched across generations, of small weekend projects that become part of the soul of a home. So if you have an old tire and a bit of paint, start small. The elephant, the ladybug, the turtle, they all began as trash. Now, they're part of something quietly beautiful. In a quiet corner of the garden, where daisies bloom without asking for much and marigolds stand watch like golden sentinels, a peculiar family has taken up residence, one made not of fur or feathers, but of spoons, bottle caps, tin cans, and charm. Here, under the forgiving shade of ivy-draped fences, live the junk creatures, garden guardians assembled from what others might discard. But to the hands that built them, each bit of scrap became a piece of joy. There's something magical about the way their googly eyes catch the morning light. Crafted from painted jar lids and bright soda caps, their expressions brim with life. One smiles with an open-mouthed giggle made from a bent tin tab, another grins with quiet mischief behind spatula wings. They're staked into soft soil like garden gnomes reimagined by a dreamer in a garage full of treasures. Creating your own junk creatures doesn't require a trip to the hardware store, just a fresh way of seeing the things around you. A whisk becomes an antenna. A spoon becomes a foot. An old light fixture? The perfect bug body. Start by collecting kitchenware that's too bent or rusty to serve its original purpose. Add wire, washers, buttons, or bolts. Let instinct and imagination lead. It's less about perfection, more about personality. These creatures do more than decorate, they tell stories. They speak of reuse, of humor, of the human need to create even when the materials are humble. Kids laugh when they see them. Adults pause. Some bend down to look closer, perhaps remembering the joy of making something with their hands, without rules. And maybe that's what this is really about. Not just recycling, not just decoration, but giving your space a soul. One whisk-headed monster or spring-tailed cat at a time. So go ahead. Build one. Name it. Let it live beside your beans and basil. Let your garden grow not only with plants, but with play. There's something quietly triumphant about building beauty from what others have thrown away. In this sun-drenched corner of the yard, old corrugated tin, rust blooming across its surface like accidental art, stands tall alongside carefully framed lines of colored glass bottles. Some panels whisper of their past lives, faded floral motifs, the ghost of a soda logo, a chipped enamel flower, while others proudly boast their rebirth, bottles arranged like stained glass windows in a chapel made for tomatoes and lavender. From eye level, the fence feels like a patchwork quilt, segments stitched not with thread but memory. Brown, green, blue bottles glow under the afternoon sun, casting filtered light onto the grass like little blessings. They don't match, and that's the charm. This wasn't designed by committee, it was imagined with patience, grit, and a bit of heart. And the plants respond. Morning glories reach upward as if they recognize something kind in the materials around them. Clematis winds through the open slats. Dill and chamomile gently nod above the shorter panels, brushing their feathery fronds against the painted glass where birds and vines have been hand-drawn in joyful strokes. If you're thinking of making something like this, don't overthink. Start small, maybe one panel made from old roofing, another from bottles you've saved. Use mesh, wood scraps, and whatever tools you have on hand. Paint the bottles if you like, make them your own. And when you plant your first seed beside it, you'll feel something shift. Because this is more than a fence. It's a promise that even rust can cradle roses, and that with a bit of vision and time, what once held soda or beer can now hold sunlight and dreams. Let your fence tell your story, one panel at a time. As dusk settles across the quiet backyard, a new kind of magic takes over, one that didn't come from a catalog, but from the soft glint of repurposed soda cans. Along the worn wooden fence, daisy-shaped reflectors catch the light of solar bulbs nestled gently at their centers. Their petals, once scraps of aluminum, now gleam like silver under the evening sky. Below them, herbs like mint, oregano, and flowering chives bask in the warm glow, their textures casting faint shadows over the soil. The light dances without fanfare, just a simple, glowing rhythm that feels handmade in every way. In the far corner, a clay birdbath waits beneath a delicate trail of honeysuckle. Stars and butterflies, cut from soda cans and carefully curled, float like glowing silhouettes along the fence. These humble materials, transformed with care and a bit of patience, create a scene that feels both whimsical and intentional. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. A quiet evening, the scent of crushed jasmine in the air, and a fence that tells its own story of second chances. Even the path seems to hum with life, spiral and petal reflectors bounce little bursts of light over pea gravel and the faded tin of old watering cans. Each metal cutout, whether shaped like a lightning bolt or a flower, catches and reflects the soft amber glow in its own playful way. The garden stool nearby, worn but sturdy, feels like an invitation. Sit for a while. Listen to the crickets. Admire your own work. This project isn't just about solar lights or soda cans, it's about finding wonder in the cast-offs. If you try this at home, you won't need perfection, just curiosity, a steady pair of scissors, and a belief that even trash can bloom if given a little light. There's something quietly magical about giving cast-off jars a second life, especially when they end up lining a garden path like forgotten jewels rediscovered in the dirt. At first glance, this border of hand-painted glass jars may seem like a playful decoration. But look closer, and you'll see a thoughtful rhythm of color, light, and reuse that invites you to walk slower, breathe deeper and notice what's growing underfoot. In the early morning light, the jars sparkle, some flipped upside down like glowing domes sunk into the soil, others upright and filled with dried lavender or rose petals. Their surfaces are brushed in sunflower yellows, mint greens, coral pinks, and chalk-white pastels. Some were faded mason jar labels like a badge of humble history. Others are etched with vine-like patterns or hand-painted in watercolor florals, blurring the line between utility and art. The edges are soft and imperfect, just like the garden beds they frame. This is more than decoration. These jar borders help define space in tiny yards, keep gravel paths tidy, and protect delicate herbs like thyme and marjoram from accidental trampling. They can also be weighted inside with pebbles or sealed and used to store seeds, dried petals, or even collected rainwater in miniature. And they're made from what you likely already have, old jars from pickles, preserves, sauces, just waiting to be transformed. If you're inspired to try it, begin simply, a single row near your front step, maybe with a sprig of lavender tucked beside. Let the materials guide your hand. Don't worry about symmetry. The charm lies in the unexpected, a jar turned just slightly, casting rainbows onto the gravel, or a dragonfly pausing briefly before darting off. In this quiet corner of the garden, thrift meets tenderness. And it whispers, beauty never has to be expensive. You don't need a perfect space or fancy tools to create something magical. Sometimes, all it takes is a bottle, a can, a moment of inspiration, and the belief that trash can bloom. If any idea here spoke to you, pause the video, take it outside, and try. If it made you smile, drop a like. If it made you wonder, ask in the comments, I always read them. And if it made you feel something real, consider subscribing. Not just for me, but for every little dream we build with our hands. Thank you for watching. Thank you for seeing the beauty in the overlooked. I'll see you in the next one.